Welcome back to the channel. I am Pio Pico, and today I am super excited to make this video about Blitz. Now, I recently saw a video by Philosopher. For those of you who don't know, Philosopher was one of the first people to complete Dark Dimension 4, and he has been making phenomenal content that just helps players of all game levels with their gameplay. And so he recently made a video about Blitz. Specifically, the name of the video was Philosopher's Free-to-Play Secrets to High Blitz Scores, Secrets of the Blitz Masters. And this video was talking with two of his alliance members, Sel and Stuck, part of their alliance, Agents of Chaos. And those members made a guide called Guidelines for Maximizing Blitz Scores. And the guide is really just everything you need to know about Blitz. It's definitely information helpful for a lot of newer mid-game players who don't know kind of like the ins and outs of Blitz if you're not like checking up on Discord or Reddit. But even as someone like myself, I consider myself a pretty hardcore blitzer, consistently scoring top 1% with like 40 million blitz points. I found this guide really helpful. And there's just some things that was mentioned in the video that I'm going to be changing in my gameplay moving forward. So I really wanted to bring that content to light. I really want you to be aware of it. So I'm gonna put the link to Philosopher's video in the comments, in the video description below. And I want you to watch the video. I want you to watch it 2-3 times until the information is ingrained in your brain, because this is gonna help your Blitz gameplay without a doubt. So yeah, let's get into it. This video is gonna be broken up into 3 different parts. I'm going to give my feedback on some of the points that were made in the video. I'm not going to give my feedback on everything because I really want you to go check out their video below. And then the second part of this video are some tips that they mentioned that I don't currently do with my Blitz gameplay, but I'm going to do it moving forward because I think it's just so awesome. And then the third part of this video is going to be showcasing some Blitz fights that I don't normally use, but I'm going to change my whole entire save squads around to use some of these teams. And I want to see how well they actually work in practice, you know, because on paper, it seems like it makes sense, but I want to be able to see and show you how these other kind of unconventional teams work. So let's first start off by talking about my feedback on some of the points they brought up. So the first point, or one point that they mentioned that I really found interesting, was maximizing your roster. So they said this may mean breaking up meta teams to ensure that you can get an additional win. Example, Phoenix, Ultron, Doctor Doom can carry 4 other characters who do not win reliably. So yeah, that's a good point. You know, you can put one really strong character with 4 trash characters, and generally they can win really well. So I currently have that with my Ultron team. Ultron with 4 characters with no kind of set synergy team. Ultron can generally carry the fight. So I don't have Doctor Doom, which they mentioned. They mentioned Phoenix, who I currently have with the Uncanny X-Men. So I'll be showing you later what that fight looks like when you have Phoenix with 4 random characters. So I will definitely be trying that out. The second point that they brought up that I found interesting was investing in your saved teams. So balance their power as much as possible. Make sure the key characters are as high as possible. A single T4 can make a great team, and they use Shocker as an example, where once you invest in his T4 ability, it really just like gives offense up to everyone and makes that Sinister 6 fight a lot better. So I guess for myself, that like the way I apply that to my Blitz gameplay was so you want to have things as balanced as possible. And so for my Wakanda team, I'll show you my Wakanda team right now. A lot of times people often you know, give a hard time for Wakanda. They're not like the greatest team, but in Blitz or in Blitz mainly. But for me, it's not too bad because I was fortunate to have actually it's easier to show it from here. I have a really high power level Black Panther, and mine's a 6 red star. Actually, where is he? Okay, there we go. So he is 92,000 power, and compared to the rest of his team, he is like a lot higher power level. Oftentimes you'll see Wakanda teams where Shuri is the strongest because a lot of people bring her up to gear 14, sometimes not really gear 15. I'm seeing more gear 14s. But yeah, normally Shuri dominates the team, and ideally you don't want to have a support carry as the highest power level. But fortunately for me, my damage dealer, Black Panther, is the highest damage dealer. So my Wakanda team does really well on Blitz. And then the second team that's a little bit different than others, but I was fortunate to have this, was the Shield team. So Nick Fury at 7 red star, he made this shield team really, really good in Blitz, because before, when he was like, average 4 red star, this team was not that reliable. But once he became the highest and super highest power level on this team, he makes my Blitz teams with this fight, like, it's really, really good, and that's because, like, he carries a lot of weight on him, and his minions, people don't see it, but with a 7 red star, that does impact the health and the damage of his minions. They hit like trucks. Like, if he summons a shield security who does his special on turn 1, he can arguably hit just as hard as any of these other characters. So yeah, that's kind of where two interesting parts, or two teams where their power levels are distributed in a way that really works in my favor. Now, this third point that they talked about was learning your saved teams. So they said, play the teams, become familiar with their strengths and weakness, so when you sim, you already know if they will win. And then play your team in Blitz will also make you better in War. And so, like, this was a really interesting point made, and I really agree with it, because I think back to, like, the MMORPGs, like, World of Warcraft, where, like, nowadays, like, you might have, like, catch-up mechanics where, it's hard for newer players to get into the game because the game is older. So what they'll do is they'll sell you like a max level character, and then and that allows your friends to get into the game. They can jump into doing dungeons with the established characters. But those who do that, they may not have the best new player experience to really understanding the core mechanics of every team and every character. And so with Blitz Sim now, they might be tempted. Well, I don't think Blitz Sim is unlocked until a certain level, but when that does happen, then they'll be Blitz Simming all the time. But those of us who've played the game for years, we have the advantage of knowing how all these characters work when we're going against other teams. We have a really good understanding of what we can and can't take. So yeah. So those are just 3 interesting points I wanted to bring up. Now let's talk about tips that I haven't been doing, but based on what they mentioned, I will be doing it moving forward. So first tip that they mentioned that I thought was interesting was win at tier 8.3 and stay at 8.3. And then the points are maximized at 8.3 the most, but of course they're really hard. So I don't currently do this. Like for me, I will fight at tier 8.3, and then I'll only continue to fight if I'm using a really strong team that's sure to win, like Black Order, X-Men, or Asgardians. If I'm coming across a team that's not that reliable, like this one actually, this is a good example. This is Shadowlands, and my White Tiger and Moon Knight are not high power level compared to the rest of the team. So this team does not currently have a good win rate. So if it was their turn to do a Blitz battle, I would reset the Blitz tier and fight with them at 8.0. But their tip was to kind of stay at 8.3 as much as possible to get the most amount of points. So I'm not sure if I'll currently do this right now, because as it stands, I'm scoring at least 40 million points every Blitz. That comfortably puts me in top 1%. And the rewards between top 1% and top 100 in Blitz isn't that much. So for me, the effort to change to a different team, to try to find one that works with this team in 8.3 may not be worth the time. But down the road, I could definitely see doing that if I really want to try to maximize as many points as possible. The second point that they mentioned was picking the right fights. And they said if you have a highly favorable match, win with a team you struggle with. So the way I'll bring up this example is, so right now, like, let's say I'll sim blitz this match. Let's say they win. Next team, I'll go with Hydra, and they win or lose, whatever. And I'll go with Astonishing X-Men, I'll blitz. And let's just say with this next team, which is Dad Bros or X Factor and classic Sinister 6, let's pretend that they could not beat Defenders, right? I would sometimes I might just naturally just battle, and if they lose, I'll go back to tier 8.0, whatever. But I should actually be scrolling through this team to find when they actually could win, and that'd be better because that way I would find a team that they could win against. Because every team, let's say, racks up like 58,000 points or even more at a higher Blitz tier, and those points do add up over time. So that's one thing I'll be trying out differently. And yeah, so those are the points that I thought were interesting that I'll try out. And so this is actually the really cool part I was looking forward to. I have not tried these unconventional Blitz teams that they have suggested, So I'm going in with this with no like expectations or understanding how it's going to work, but like we're all going to look at this together, and you might be inspired to kind of try these teams too. So so Stuck and Cell both showed their rosters, and I first looked at Stuck's roster teams because his came first, and there's a lot of overlap with Cell's. So I have 7 teams I'm going to show from Stuck's roster I found interesting, and 1 from Cell's. And so we're at 8.1 right now. It's fine. But actually, they went with Uncanny X-Men and Beast. And that's a bit different because I don't currently use those together. So we're actually going to be spending a lot of time scrolling through this, but I do want to be able to show you it all. So I'm going to use the exact same order that they went with. They used Beast, Cyclops, Storm, and Colossus. So let's go ahead and just search for Uncanny X-Men. And we'll put Cyclops in the middle. Actually, no, sorry, Storm's in the middle. Psylocke, and then Cyclops. And keep in mind though that like the results of everything is gonna differ between like their gameplay, my gameplay, your gameplay, just because we all have different size rosters and our characters are at different power level. For example, my Storm is super high because I have her at 6 red stars. But this is the team, right? This is the Uncanny X-Men with Beast, and then since they're taking Beast away, they're gonna put Wolverine on the Astonishing X-Men. So let's give this team a try. And then I'm not going to blitz sim. Like, that's the point of this third part of the video. We're going to see how the fight plays out so we can understand how well or how close the fight is. I want to fight a pretty decent team because normally I can win any team with the X-Men team with Phoenix. So by sacrificing Phoenix, I want to make sure we can win a pretty good team. It looks like this would be the hardest team because there's some synergy with the Wave 1 Avengers. So let's go ahead into the battle. And we're going to put it on full auto. I'm not going to move the cursor because typically what Blitz Sim does, it starts the fight and it presses full auto. You don't get to move the cursor in the beginning. And let's just go put it on ×2 for now. I feel like I might change it to ×3, but I think ×2 is good because we can kind of see how the fight plays out. So this is good. Like, if this team works out, I would really like that because my Psylocke currently does not have a team. Like, she's not on one of my saved squads because she doesn't have any synergy. I was considering putting her with the Young Avengers because Miss Marvel has a hero brawler synergy. But you know, I have Spider-Man right there. So right now, not doing too great. You know, it looks like I got my characters really low. I was really waiting for that taunt though. I really need Colossus to protect the team. And maybe like things are a little bit thrown off because my Storm is so higher level. She doesn't carry that much weight. And there she went down. But Beast is there though. Beast is really key though. Beast has really good synergy to help keep the team sustained, heal. The defense up is key. And Psylocke's really good because she gives evade to my team when they get down really low. So Cyclops, his ultimate doesn't perform as great without Phoenix because Phoenix does give defense down to the team when she dies, which often happens, and that's why you're able to pretty much win any match when you use Phoenix with this team. So with this one, it's lasting a little bit longer, but I could definitely see that this team does really well together, and I just like being able to give Psylocke a home where she normally doesn't. And of course, it's a shame that Storm went down though. Having Storm constantly up would be great though because she gives lots of assists to the team and just the added damage really helps. So Psylocke went down, which is unfortunate, and it might be close. And this team was at 8.1, so I think, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna win this match because I'm like, that's a really tough synergy. You're hitting Hulk. Thor's gonna get charges. If you decide to hit Captain America or Thor, Hulk's gonna hit faster. So that was a really tough fight, but that was only at 8.1. So this wasn't a good performance to see how they do, but what this might tell me is that if you go with this route of Astonishing X-Men without Phoenix, you have to be selective at the fights you do, right? You can't just like steamroll over any team. You have to find maybe more mismatched teams. But either way, that's the point of these unconventional teams, that you're able to diversify and win different types of fights. So I'm going to play with this a little bit more, but I'm confident they can still do really good. I just have to be a lot more careful with my fights. So the next team I want to show off though was an interesting Dr. Octopus Chargeable Sinister 6 with Drax and Namor. So let's go ahead and check this fight out. We have Drax. Let's see. In the middle we have Dr. Octopus. I'll try to stick with the exact order that they went with. Let's go ahead and search Sinister 6. We have Dr. Octopus, and they had Electro and Swarm, and then Namor and Drax. So this is an interesting team that I could totally see the potential in doing, because as you have She-Hulk on the Fantastic Four. Ideally, Namor kind of lost his home, and then Drax. He doesn't always have a space because there's a unconventional team that he uses with his Guardians that doesn't utilize Drax. So this is the team, and let's see, what's the power level? Yeah, it's pretty close power level. I'm not sure how great this one. These teams are quite hard. I don't feel confident going against all of them. This is probably the best one I can go with. Yeah. So let's go ahead and see how this does, though. And the point of this, I could see, is that Drax is going to protect the team, so that the Sinister Six, especially Dr. Octopus, has time to ramp up. You know, he puts on his special, he does his ultimate, and then things just steamroll. And Electro is going to really help out here because she puts the offense down on the enemy team. And Namor, he has no synergy, but typically for a lot of endgame players roster, he's already built up, and he's just going to do a good ultimate. So already looking pretty good so far. No one's taking any damage except Drax. He did the ultimate. Green Goblin's passive could possibly strip the taunt from Drax, but I have a lot of characters on the field, and they choose random targets. So already really impressed with this fight, actually, and it's going pretty well. Yeah, Swarm and Electro has the synergy with Dr. Octopus, so I can see why Stuck decided to put this team together. And you could just see, just having Doc Ock, Swarm, and Electro by themselves, they're carrying the fight, you know, and Namor and Drax are there just to kind of be fillers, and that allows us to use the other characters of Sinister Six to create their own team, which I'm going to be showing soon. So that was a really cool fight. I was really cool to show that one. Let me actually do a quick blitz sim to see if I win that one as well. Yeah, they won. So that was actually pretty cool, and they all left full health. So far, I'm liking that. I think I definitely will take this team. And so the next team I want to show is Guardians with Vision. And so they chose Mantis, Rocket, and Groot. All right, Rocket, Mantis, Groot. And this one's cool because I'm looking for inspiration. I'm looking for ways to make my Guardians team better, just because they currently don't have a good win rate. So I'm definitely down to try to make this change. So they had Groot, and they had Star-Lord and Vision. And the reasoning here, what makes it so different, is that Vision gives defense up on spawn to all tech allies, which is going to protect Rocket and Star-Lord. Those are probably your two most important characters on this team. And then Mantis, this actually might hurt me because my Mantis is a 7 red star. She's higher power level than she needs to be. So yeah, let's go ahead and show off. This is an easy team. Normally I could beat this team, but I want to be able to show off a more mid-tier team. Can't lose that team. This one's in the middle of the two groups, right? So let's go ahead and try to show off this fight. And right now, what is my Guardians team? I currently have Gamora on it, and I chose Gamora just because she has that crit synergy. She gives more crit to the Guardians, but that team's not that great. So yeah, I'm really curious to see if that defense up that Vision plays helps, and already they took out Rescue. It's already a 4-on-5 fight, and yeah, I was so as great as it is to get a 7 red star Mantis, it hurts me in Blitz because it typically you want the damage dealers to be the highest power level, which is Rocket and Star-Lord, but that's not the case. Mantis is really high level. My Groot is tier 14. I accidentally pressed the equip all button. My mistake. And he's, ideally you want him low power level. You want him to die and give buffs to the rest of the team. So yeah. So already things are going well. I can definitely see Vision giving defense up to everyone is really helpful. And actually the synergy between Vision and Groot, because on spawn Vision gives defense up to everyone, and then Groot uses his ultimate first. He heals. He doesn't use his special, so that's where full auto normally hurts them. But by doing it this way, Vision gets defense up. By the time that wears off, then you have Groot giving special defense up to everyone. So I actually really like that synergy. I want to do another quick blitz sim and see how this team performs against this one. I think normally my Guardians would lose against this. I can tell you right now. But let's see how they do. And wow, they won. Cool, awesome. And Groot lost. So yeah, I really like this team. I'm definitely gonna do this one. Let's check out Astonishing X-Men with Wolverine. So I showed you an Uncanny X-Men. Yeah, let's go ahead and just put down the search for Astonishing X-Men first. So yeah, earlier I showed you Bishop, Kitty Pryde, Jubilee in the middle, Iceman, Kitty, and then they chose Wolverine and Bishop. So let's go. I'm going with the exact order just in case, just to make things consistent. Because their positioning is really key. Like ideally, you do want Kitty Pryde next to Bishop. That's how I have my teams normally. Because oh my gosh, I can't find it. I'm just gonna search with Uncanny X-Men. Yeah, because like she goes into stealth, and Bishop has taunt often. So, that's why you want them like that in that order. Because the chain attacks won't go through. What? Wait, where is Bishop? Oh my gosh. Wait, where is Bishop? Bishop. Oh, there he is. Okay, cool. So, yeah. So this team. So, yeah. Astonishing X-Men has a really good win rate. So I'm going to choose a really, really hard team. I think the hardest would be probably this one with Hela. So this will be a good demonstration for sure. Yeah. So this will be a good demonstration. And yeah, Wolverine normally is on my Uncanny X-Men with Phoenix. So I mean, by himself, Wolverine's not a great character. So with the Astonishing X-Men or this version, we're relying on the other 4 members to carry the team, which they do. So I'm really curious to see how this fight plays out. I've invested about 6 T4s into this team so far, into the Astonishing X-Men, and we actually forget that Jubilee and Wolverine do have synergy together. Like in a lot of their attacks, you'll see Wolverine assisting the other enemy's attacks. And yeah, so they're doing really good. I could definitely see it being really good that we put with Beast with the Uncanny X-Men. Because if Beast was here, like he definitely would help the fight a lot more. But even without Beast, like this team already has so much good synergy by themselves. Like Jubilee has like the ability to blind, which is like crazy good. And yeah, Wolverine's not really doing much. He's just sitting there as a meat shield. But yeah, it's not impacting the fight at all. So I think this confirms that I will make my Astonishing X-Men like this. And as we saw, I lost the fight with Uncanny X-Men. I just need to be more selective with the teams I fight. I need to choose less synergy teams. But it's just being able to utilize all the characters, and that's the key point of us doing this. So that was a cool demonstration. Let's go ahead and do this next one. I was really curious. This is the Wave 1 Avengers with Coulson and Shield Medic. So let's go ahead. And they did Coulson. Okay, so they did Coulson, Shield. Let me actually filter Shield, and that's going to show everyone. Yeah, that'll be a really quick way to get them in there. So we have Coulson, Hawkeye, Black Widow, and then we have Shield Medic, and then we have Captain America. Yeah, and then these are the teams I have. Let's go with a mid-tier team. Yeah, Wakandans are actually quite hard on defense. Let's go with this mid-tier team. Yeah, let's go this one. So with my Wave 1 Avengers, I use them as a pure Wave 1 Avengers. I have Captain America, Black Widow, Hawkeye, Hulk, and I have Coulson as a 5th member. And Coulson is considered Avenger, and so he has natural synergy with this team. But I don't have Shield Medic. But then Stuck had mentioned that all their actions synergize really well. So let's go ahead and see how the timing works out. So yeah, so Black Widow and Hawkeye, they'll always assist each other, and that was not ideal. Yeah, and that's actually, like, that might have sealed this match, because if Coulson doesn't get his ultimate off, that's a huge damage, and oftentimes that can make the fight 5 versus 4. So already, I don't know if I'll get the best display. If they manage to win, that shows how good it is. Maybe having Shield Medic there and having the sustain from this team really helps. I mean, fortunately, they only have Wolverine, Crossbones. I mean, there's 2 characters without synergy. Luke Cage is slow, so maybe I'll come through with this. But yeah, it's definitely stuck on Hulk, and Captain America. Whew, I didn't check the power level, but she might have been really strong. And Yeah, definitely. Like, I really like the synergy with Black Widow and Hawkeye. I know that, you know, with Skilletary, they're going to be their kits can be reworked in the next coming month or two, and you know they're going to make Black Widow have that skill military tag. So some people might move Black Widow to a skill military team, but I think that she is best kept with Hawkeye because like that's what made the rework to Wave 1 Avengers so good, is that Hawkeye's boost and Black Widow's rework definitely made them good. So I want to try to keep the team as much as possible a Wave Wonders like version. And actually with my Shield Medic, she's also currently not on a set Save Squad team, so I'm really open to bring her here. And wow, yeah, I forgot. She has the passive ability to bring back a fallen character. So actually that was really cool to see that. Like she brought Coulson back the dead. If Coulson, when Coulson does die, he does increase the speed meter for Shield Medic. So I guess I didn't pay attention, but I guess when he died in the beginning of the fight, her turn meter sped up, and just every turn she has a percentage to bring back a character. So that was really cool to see him come back and smack him with an ultimate. Yeah, so wow, yeah, I do see like the turn meters are working really well, and I think like normally this team doesn't really need healing because Hulk is constantly taunting and he's going down to low health and ultimating. So yeah, my Hulk's pretty built up. I think Stuck didn't have really built up Hulk. That's why he didn't use it, partially. But I think also he said the synergy was really good. But that was a really cool display. I like that one. So let me go ahead and show a classic Sinister 6. This was one that I'm really curious to see how this is going to play out. Because before the Docked Octopus Electro Swarm came out, like people were using this classic Sinister 6. And they weren't the most reliable, like from what I remember. Like they could beat the Defenders. They could beat like non-synergy teams, but things have changed. Like we now have ISO 8, and we have their higher power level. I probably have unlocked more abilities. So like with this team, I know I could beat this. I know like that one's actually quite hard. But yeah, so I think this is a good middle of the road team. I want to be able to show if I can beat a middle of the road team right here. And because I mean, yeah, like normally I would choose Defenders, which is fine. But even if this team doesn't win, like I do like that the synergy they have together. Like for the longest time, I've been wanting to find a different use of my classic Sinister 6 members. I currently use Dad Bros like Longshot Shatterstar with Shocker, Vulture, and Green Goblin, and yeah, like, but eventually I do want to take the Dad Bros off that team, and then I'll have these classic Sinister 6 members like left off. But this is a great way to utilize all of them, because I showed you the other team before where we use the Drax and Namor with the Chargeable Sinister 6. And I just like the synergy that Green Goblin provides, because when you put him with like 4 other members, like every turn he has a chance to remove buffs on the enemy. So, I mean, this team does make sense. It helps to have Rhino on here, just because he's the only tank. And yeah, they're doing quite well. I don't think they could beat synergy teams. Well, I mean, ideally you try to stay away from like big synergy teams like Inhumans or Symbiotes or Asgardians. But at least for middle of the road teams like this one, they seem like they're doing pretty good. And yeah, so they're gonna win. I'm actually like speed this up just so we can get through more of them. And then I currently have like Raider ISO on Shocker, Vulture. I think Mysterio is a skirmisher, and then Rhino, I think I have him as a striker. And then Green Goblin, I don't have him. I don't have an assigned an ISO at level 3 yet. I think I eventually will probably make him either a healer or a skirmisher. If I get him at level 5, which I'm not going to, like skirmisher, it'll increase his focus to help him strip debuffs or buffs. But as a healer, he actually has a quite high health pool. So every turn he gives passive health if you make it as a healer ISO 8. So then, okay, so this one's really cool. This is Phoenix and Friends, which I call it. And then so he put Phoenix with 4 other characters which don't really have much of a doesn't have much of a home. They are lower power level. So I'm gonna choose 4 characters that I don't think would have a home on a set team. So let's go with, and he went with Hand Sentry. So I'll include Hand Sentry just to be consistent. So let's choose Gamora. What else? Not Silver Surfer, that's cheating. Let's go with Hand Assassin. Oh my gosh, Nobu. Yeah. Actually, let's go. You know what? Let's let's not go with Hand Sentry because he's power. I have him at high power level, so I want to kind of put him on a set team instead of just being one. So let's see how this goes. And I'm curious to see if Phoenix really can. Okay, don't avoid MRRs for sure. Yeah, I think this one. Actually, let's go with this one. And I want to see like how well she is able to do it, because right after she used her special ultimate, does she have the sustain? Will the enemy team bombard her with attacks? So that's what we're gonna find out. Let's go. Let's put this on ×2 and just let it ride. Yeah, Gamora. She's not that great at all. Like my plan is like when the X Factor members come out, Multiple Man and Polaris. My plan is to put Gamora as that 5th character because she gives natural crit to everyone on the team, and we all know that X Factor just lives on crit. So like she'll have that synergy with the team. So Phoenix is gonna die, and the other team still has really great health, except now. Okay, I'm starting to see, yeah, like she's doing really good. Like I could see the potential in her carrying the team. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Whoa. That's right. That's great. Yeah. That's another team, right? That's another team that we just won. So okay, cool. So far, all these 7 teams so far are really great. Let's switch over to Cell's team, and there's only one team I'm going to show off just because there was some overlap between both players. And so this next one is going to be interesting. I don't have confidence this is going to do well for me just because my defenders are like they're all at least tier 13, and then my dad bros like are only tier 12. So the power level is definitely not there. That's actually not how you want to do it. And actually they didn't do it in this order, but it's fine. I don't think the order matters too much for this team. And then they put okay. So this is the team. So we'll see. And this team, okay, yeah. So I can't beat Black Order. I can't beat Asgardians. So this is the team. And the reason why we're starting to see why this is an ideal matchup is because defenders, those 3 will be like in their own team because you took Punisher off, you're putting him on Skill Military, you took Daredevil off, you put him on Shadowlands. So this is the ideal team. And then they are coming out with Polaris and Multiple Man, but I mean, like, you know, I might like not power up Multiple Man and Polaris at the beginning because they are an offensive war team. My gameplay priority is more like with raids and arena. So like I would actually need to find a home for both Shadowstar and Longshot. So this could be a potential team. So let's see how they do. Yeah, my Iron Fist is actually 7 red star, so he just throws the power level on this team like way off, you know. But as we've seen, like Shatterstar and Longshot have great synergy together. I like how, like, you know, in the beginning Shatterstar uses ultimate, he puts defense up on him and Longshot, and then by the time we get to Luke Cage's turn, he puts offense up or defense up on everyone. So we lost Jessica Jones, unfortunate, but he's gonna put defense down on everyone. They actually recently reworked both characters, Longshot and Shatterstar. They do, like, originally Shatterstar only gave defense down to the main primary target, but they changed it so that he gives defense down to everyone. That's crazy. Like no one expected it. Like, I didn't really see the need to do it, but they definitely want people to invest in X Factor. They're definitely a really key team to in the future. Who knows? Like, if maybe they'll come out with some sort of like big boss mode, like take on Galactus, and X Factor will shine in that mode, which I could see the potential because they have lots of speed up, they have lots of barrier, and with Multiple Man and Polaris, they get so much control and sustain. So yeah, so far not doing the best. I lost Longshot, and without Longshot, if you lose one of the dad bros, the other doesn't really perform as good, and I'm stuck behind Luke Cage. Like, if I was manually piloting this fight, I would take out Spider-Man, I would take out Thing, and the fight will be a little bit easier, but this is really hard. And this is kind of the issue I saw with this team, is that like my defenders are much higher level than the X Factor team. So I think I still will keep this team the way it is, because I'm going to be investing in Shatterstar and Longshot moving forward. You know, like, they're tier 12. I'm definitely probably going to bring them at least to tier 14, and they get a big stat jump. That's what they need. They need a big stat jump right now. Like, that was a tier 8.3 fight. Maybe, yeah, let me blitz sim this. I'll probably win this one. Yeah, so they won that fight. This is another random fight. They won that fight. And so, yeah, this one, how will this one do? And they won. Cool. So I like this Defenders and Dad Bros team. And I guess in closing thoughts, like, I just want to say that, like, we're seeing these events where they're rewarding you these currency for the quantity of wins. Right now we have an event going on where you can win shards to get Moon Knight and other characters, but they're rewarding you per the quantity of fights you're winning. Normally, if it's a new character, you wouldn't have as many big teams, and score lots of points. But at least with this method, like, we're able to score lots of wins with as many sure-to-win teams as possible. Like, I've seen other content creators make infographics of teams, and I'm not always in agreement with them. But, like, when I saw Philosopher's his video, and I saw all the rosters that Cell and Stuck had, I'm like, whoa, those make sense. Like, I have got to try those. So after this video, it's gonna end right now. I'm gonna go through my whole entire save squad and just, like, obliterate everything. I'm gonna screenshot all my characters so I know in case I want to go back. But I'm gonna change, like, almost everything and just mix and match like they did. And that'll depend. Like, your roster may be higher or smaller than mine, and you'll be at a different part of the game. You might be an early or mid game player. But I hope this video inspired you and showed you how you can change your Blitz gameplay. But definitely check out the video in the comments and the video description below and watch Philosopher's video. It is life-changing. It's going to improve your gameplay so much, and Blitz is so key. Like, with Blitz, like, we are able to get new character shards, and that's going to help progress you forward. So I really hope you liked the video. If you enjoyed it, please like the video. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe to my channel. I enjoy making these weekly content for Marvel Strike Force. I like to choose random topics. But I think that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.